I had to pretty much build myself from nothing to what I am today.
So what's your mind like? I bet it's changed now when you approach
Yeah.
a fight, but for that, let's start with that first fight. What is your feelings leading up to it? Are you scared? Are you anxious? Like, what are the emotions you're going through?
I was scared, anxious, my legs were shaking. I'm walking to octagon and it's kind of small. Opponent looks big, and then the lights are so bright. So like you feel like you're high. So you have to be entertaining. Even like I'm getting to a professional level and I cannot just take people down, hold them and win. I can have 15 wins and still not get called to UFC or any other promotion to that matter.
So we have a special guest today, Idris Niazi. He is an up-and-coming fighter. He's training with a lot of interesting UFC fighters. He has an interesting story come to America, and we'll get into all that today. Welcome to Duffy Diaries.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Good to have you. So let's start out with, where are you from?
So I was born and raised in Russia originally, but my parents came from Afghanistan. So
Okay.
like in about 1989, 1991, they migrated to Russia,
Mhm.
and then I was born and raised there.
So technically ethnicity, Afghanistan,
Yeah.
but raised in Russia.
Yes.
And then what age did you come over here?
So right after my high school, when I turned 18, I got in here. It felt like a movie, to be honest. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I felt like something out of the ordinary. Came in, no English whatsoever. I mean, like right now, you look at me like I'm bald with beard.
Yeah.
Back then, it was the opposite: no beard, curly hair.
You showed me a picture, which I'll try and put up when we
Yeah,
actually record this.
yeah.
I'll put up a picture of you when you were younger.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting story. I had no idea what I want to do.
Mhm.
To be honest, I was even uncertain of what's gonna happen, like in Russia, because me coming here wasn't 100% thing. My sister got married, and then we just had a talk whether to move in or not. Obviously, it's always a money issue.
So sister was already here, or
She got married and she was there like a year before
Okay.
we came in. We visited a few times, and then we just made a decision to go with the flow.
yeah.
And then I'm just grateful to God
Yeah.
it happened.
And at the time, were you any interest in fighting back in Russia, or was that even a thought in your head yet?
Not at all. To be honest, when I was growing up, I did like 6 years of soccer. And then I did 2 years of freestyle wrestling.
Okay.
Honestly, it's not like something I really, really wanted to do. Soccer, I loved. Wrestling, my brother made sure that I went there, which was the best thing I've done because it gave me a solid base. But I've never had a thought that I'm going to become a fighter. I always saw myself in different sports, but definitely not MMA fights.
Yeah.
We could say that all the decisions in my life in Russia was made for me. I was never allowed per se to make my own decision.
Mhm.
So fighting was the first ever decision I made myself. And I promised myself not to give up on that idea.
And when you say you weren't allowed to, are you talking about your parents?
You know, it's like I'm the youngest in my family. And that's very important to know because usually when you're the youngest, you don't know anything.
Mhm.
And I put that in quote. And yeah, my brother would know better what I want. And like for the most part, they were right, but not always. Everybody always knew what's better for me than myself. So then I grew out of it. You know, me coming here, like I had no skills, had no language, nothing. So I had to pretty much build myself from nothing to what I am today. And I'm not even close to my potential. Yeah, I started in Orange County because my sister's husband's family, like they were based out here. So they were helping us a lot.
Mm.
Like we were living with them for like about a year. So there was nowhere else to go. We didn't have any family anywhere else. So yeah, we stayed in Orange County.
So did you come out and get a job?
You know, funny enough, like first 6 to a year, I would say, no job, not a car, because I didn't know that it's so important to have a car in California.
Mhm.
We were living like in Anaheim Hills.
Okay.
So it's up the mountain. Me and my sister had no money, nothing. So for about 6 months, we would hang out and just going down, go to the mall, just walk and go back. And that was us for 6 months. So yeah, we're staying out here. And then my first job, as me being typical Middle Eastern, it would be 7-Eleven. Funny enough.
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was quite an experience because it was about 10 miles away from my house, but you wouldn't think it's a lot. But I didn't have a car.
I mean, that is a lot.
So yeah, I tried to go on the bus. It would take me 3, 4 hours, which is impossible to maintain. So I got a bike, and for 10 miles, it was my workout. I did not know much English or like American system. I didn't even know what EBT card is. So I definitely got in trouble at work. But yeah, so like at work, like sometimes my bike would get stolen. And me with my Russian mentality, I want to chase somebody down to get it back. On my first day of work, somebody stole like a 24 pack of beer. My like intuition is like, I gotta go after them and get the beer back. But then my bosses, who were obviously Indians, they would tell me, no, no, we got insurance.
In California, where you pretty much let them rob you, so that's got to be
Yeah, I was
eye-opening.
like, it's insane that I have to let it slide. Like, no wonder people just keep stealing and taking stuff from you, and like they have no consequences. In Russia, you would definitely have consequences for your actions.
But that actually kind of leads me into a question I had. So obviously you're a fighter, up and coming fighter, and you brought up wanting to go after the guy that stole your bike.
Yeah.
Can you pretty much take any, like a street fight versus a UFC? Like, do you walk around just knowing you could take like 90% of the guys that are walking around?
You know what? That definitely gives you the confidence. It's something I did not have until I've been training for about 7 years now. But that actual confidence I've been gaining maybe in the last 2 years, it's more mental than physical, I would say. Back in my 7-Eleven days, I definitely did not have the confidence.
Yeah.
So I did not think that. Nowadays, when you train a lot and you constantly train with professional fighters, to you, people like that are normal.
Mhm.
So automatically, I think that everybody's around me are like that.
Mhm.
Everybody's trained, which is not the case. What is the case is every other person carry a knife. So like you have to choose and pick your battles. Luckily enough, I have a really nice resting bitch face, so nobody really messes with me. But I never have a fight outside. It's just not worth it. If you think you're bigger and stronger than me, you're more than welcome. Like, okay, bro, it's not something I'm interested in because of the cost of violence, you know how painful it is. So why would I try and stick it outside?
And I feel like that's the thing with having the power, or you're more respectful of it. You don't need to show off that you can beat somebody up. It's more, I would say, like a weak man wants to do that to try and prove something, and you
Yeah.
don't need to do that.
And we can take a quote from Spider-Man: with big power comes big responsibility.
Yeah.
And honestly, I apply it a lot. Um, I'm usually, I'm usually very nice to everybody.
Mhm.
Like, I have very high tolerance to annoying people. So if somebody annoys me, I don't mind it as much.
Yeah. So you come here, you're working at 7-Eleven. Was there like a turning point that really made you want to get into fighting?
Surprisingly enough, I was never, and I'm still never like a guy who brings in conflict. I don't like arguments as much. So I was kind of 225, 230 pounds, little like skinny, chubby guy working. I was working in OCC as well. And one of my good friends, he wanted to get into fighting. And he actually was the one who made me start working out. He's like, come on, dude, you can't be that fat. Like, you have to work on yourself. I was like, okay. So I started working out at his apartment complex. And it got boring. Like, lifting weights is nice and you feel good about yourself, but it gets boring. So he had a dream to be a fighter. And I was like, okay, let me try it with you. So I went to one of my home base that I'm still affiliated with. It's Tomasel Academy. Like, they became like a family to me, took care of me pretty much. I started there, but the first day, like in Russia, nobody have a filter. Like, we just say what we think, or like with our sense of humor, it's usually dark.
Mhm.
Out here, I learned to be careful. Like, I learned to, balance myself a little bit. So out there, I knew like I was in my spot. Unfortunately, back then I could not afford it, so my friend kept going to do MMA, and then I stopped for a year until I got my job at landscaping, and I was able to finally afford it. So I got into it. I started as a jiu-jitsu guy, so I started doing jiu-jitsu. Then I started doing Muay Thai, and then at the same area there was one of my first striking coaches. His name is Marco Ruas. He's a UFC 7 champion, a legend. So I had no skill. I started training with him, and then he came out to me. He's like, "You have a potential." And back then, like, I did not believe in myself at all. So coming from a guy like this, that high of a caliber, it meant something to me. I was like, do I actually like, what did he see in me that I did not see in myself? So I'm like, okay, I trusted him and I just started training consistently. Like instead of 2, 3 times a week, I started training like 5 days a week. So slowly enough, I was like, okay, I think I want to try an MMA fight. I want to try myself in a cage. Well, my other coach, Mike Tomaselli, he said his rules pretty much are you cannot fight MMA until you're blue belt. It's not every gym's rule, but that was his specific gym rule. And I was wondering why. He's like, well, if you know how to get out of the worst case scenarios, which is if you're down, somebody mounts you or somebody takes your bag. If you know how to get out of those positions, there's nothing really to worry about except getting knocked out.
So it's kind of like learn defense first. So you're,
Yeah,
sense.
100%. So I started working even harder. And then to remind you, my friend wanted to fight it as well. So me just being more consistent and me having a wrestling base got me that blue belt earlier than my best friend. He got a little butthurt, stopped talking to me to a degree.
No.
Still miss the guy. I love him because he does so much for me, including opening that area of MMA, fighting for me. Okay, got my first fight.
So blue belt, how long have you been training to get to this point?
It was about like a year, 2, 3 months consistent training.
And are you doing sparring in this time?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I would do all the classes. I would do jiu-jitsu, gi, no gi, I would do Muay Thai, I would do MMA, just all of it. Like whatever the schedule, I would do everything. And then after that, got a fight. Got a fight in San Diego. The opponent they gave me was like a D1 wrestler. The guy came down from 285 pounds to like 185. And that's where I fought.
And what was did you cut for that?
Yeah, so I was walking around like 205 and to get down to 185 was my first ever big cut. But still, if you looked at me back then, I was like not muscular, chubby. Like skills are not there, but you have to get that experience. And then I'm looking in front of me, some like redhead dude with big mustache, just looking at me like ready to kill me. And the thing is, it's different from a street fight because in a street fight, it just happens. But like when you have a specific date and you know that the guy's training to kill you and you have to train to kill him as well. And it's amateur, so we did not have footage of each other's fighting. So going in there, I lost like 2.5 rounds and then he like submits me pretty much, like TKO. First ever experience even getting punched in the face. I was driving back home so bummed out. I was like, nah, I don't want to do this. Like, that was stupid. You know, it's like, I don't want to get punched in the head. Big guys like this, like, Well, I was 2, 3 days later, it's like, let me get back to it. Got another 2 losses. So I had like 3 losses in a row. You would think like a normal person would give up. No, I was too autistic. So like I had to just go at it.
A little acoustic.
Oh yeah, definitely on the spectrum because I don't think that's something for normal people. Like normal people just not gonna get it there. Nowadays, I'm like 5-5 in my record because I had like all my losses in the beginning. Now like start winning, getting into higher training, like way more professional. So the whole journey is just insane to me. I still can't believe it, to be honest.
So what's your mind like? I bet it's changed now when you approach a fight. But for that, let's start with that first fight. What is your feelings leading up to it? Are you scared? Are you anxious? Like, what are the emotions you're going through?
I was scared, anxious. My legs were shaking. I'm walking to octagon and it's kind of small. Opponent looks big. And then the lights are so bright. So like you feel like you're high. Like the adrenaline rush is so insane that it's the first time me dealing with that and you don't know how to control it. So it's one of the main things in fighting that you need to know how to control your adrenaline. Because if you don't, you're going to gas out real quick. And I felt that. And then it all gets mental. After first round, I was so tired because the guy was stronger. He was bigger. But for a D1 wrestler, he did not out-wrestle me. I'll tell you this. That something that was surprising to me. I was like, okay, I can hold my own.
Do you think that was because of your natural ability, or was he not as? I mean, if he was D1, he must have been good.
Yeah, well, maybe, it was his first fight too.
Okay.
Maybe he was as nervous as I was. Because if you think about it, you can have a best training camp and you can be great at the gym, but to convert that skill to the octagon, that's a whole different set. Only now I'm getting to the point where I'm working more on my mind, because if I don't have it, like, I might as well quit. This is like, it's 90% of a success.
Hmm. Are
Uh,
there any tricks that you do that, or what are you doing to work on your mental game?
I mean, like, I do read books. Now I got fortunate enough to train with UFC fighters. I ask them for advice. I try to meditate. It's something I started doing very recently. And then I'm just, like, looking back at what I've been through my life, right? Like, all the pain that I had. And I'm just, if you think about it, this fight is not that big of a deal. Like, I've been through worse. So what if I'm going to get punched?
It's funny that you say that, because I think for most people, that's probably the scariest thing you can do. That's the hardest thing you can do, is get punched in the face. But it's funny to you that that's
You see,
not
like,
as bad as other things.
I don't even think about it that way, because to me, it became such a normal that I get surprised when people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're a fighter," and like they have like no idea like how insane it is. To me, I still have like, I'm working on my self confidence, right? Because I grew up like, I was somewhat bullied. Russia back then was slightly racist. I was like the only, me and my sister, maybe like few other guys, were the only brown guys in the whole school. So you can imagine what that's like.
Hmm.
Definitely developed a dark sense of humor in me, so I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
So how has the mindset changed since that first fight? Do you still get really nervous going up to it? Or
I do get nervous, but way less, because the confidence comes from preparation. That's something GSP said. I did not understand it at first, but I had fights where I did not have a good training camp. And what happens is, you walk into the fight knowing that you did not do enough. You did not do everything you could to prepare for that fight. So now that takes away from your confidence, because you think that this guy who is about to try and kill you, he's done everything.
Mhm.
He trained 110% to win. So now, like, that takes away. Every time, if you never got punched in the face or you never done martial arts, I would advise you to do it at least once in your lifetime, just so you understand what you're going to be like when you get punched in the face,
Mhm.
because everything changes. Like, your mentality, you'll understand it if you want to keep going or you want to give up. Like, are you scared? Like, what do you feel? And that's the truth mostly for men. I can't speak for women because I'm not. You understand who you are.
Mhm.
Like, are you the guy who's scared, but you're still gonna go through it, or you're just gonna give up?
And I imagine even for your personal life, if you go beat yourself up, get punched in the face, work hard, and cause these hardships on yourself by choice, it probably makes the rest of your life easier. If some guy bothers you, do you get as upset?
Yeah.
No, I got punched in the face 3 times today. Why would I be upset? This guy cut me off.
Actually, it got me one of the jobs that I have right now. I'm so grateful for it, because technically I need to have engineering degree for it, but my friend's part owner of the company. It's a 3D printer company, and they just taking care of me because they're letting me work out during the day, come back, I keep working. Like, it's such a good work environment. But I did not know anything about 3D printers. I came in randomly. I was like, all right, guys, let me help you out. I need a job, and I don't know nothing, but I'm willing to learn. And that's something you take away from martial arts. You're coming in, you don't know nothing. And for as long as you're coachable, for as long as you're not getting that ego where, like, oh, I know better, or this guy doesn't know what he's doing, you can always learn from somebody, even who you would think is weaker than you. Like, everybody have their skills. So, and yeah, I was willing to learn. I was learning quick, picking up. I would never say no to opportunity. Do you want to learn, do this, that? I was like, yeah, of course, teach me. I don't know nothing, but I'll learn. So my life directly transfers, like, from martial arts to my work, to my personal life, to how I handle myself. Like, I would even walk with my head down all the time. I'll be a little too friendly. People would call it people pleaser. Right now, I'm very choosy with who I give my energy to. Walking with my head straight, because I don't care. Like, I'm confident. I'm socially aware. So it's one of the greatest things I've ever done.
So that kind of ties into another question. A lot of people see once you become a McGregor or whatever, and you see that guy who made it, the rich UFC fighter. What is it like for the up and coming fighter? So you have to have a job. Do you have to pay for training? I guess kind of talk about the living around training, I guess.
Yeah, I would say definitely prepare to make sacrifices. You would most likely to be broke all the time because it costs money to buy gear. It costs money to go to MMA gym. But just going to MMA gym is not enough because sometimes you like in wrestling or you like in boxing. So you're gonna have to go to another gym where you specifically train boxing, you specifically train wrestling. That's all costs money. You also need to have a full-time job because you have bills to pay. You have to pay apartment. I got fortunate enough where I'm with my family and my family pay most of the bills, but all my money goes simply car payment, food, like just a regular life. Sometimes you can it's one of the hardest thing to do is not to compare yourself to other fighters, especially who are already successful because they're on a different level. Definitely take sacrifices because I also let's imagine that my day starts at 7 a.m. I wake up, I'm at work, I'm like putting the machine together, I'm on the phone call. By the time like it's 11, 12, I'm going to train. I'm training, we do the sparring, there's some technical training. After that, you're already tired. You have to come back, you have to keep working because obviously bills. Then after that, you go train again. So by the time you're done, it's already 8:39 p.m. You're coming back home. You need to eat. You need to prepare for the next day. Take a shower. So it's all in a cycle. It's a grind. It's very boring. Sometimes you have to decline your friends asking you to go out somewhere. It's like, hey, let's go to a bar. Let's go to a road trip. I was like, sorry guys, I got my training. Especially you in your training camp, you have to make those sacrifices. Me personally, my biggest sacrifice is not to eat a lot. I love pastries and chocolate, and it's one of my biggest problems. Probably, I'm a fat kid on the inside. So, but if you think about it, it all takes discipline, and it is hard. It is hard. So, and you don't see returning your investment for a long time. I've been doing this for 7 years, and only now I start seeing like a little bit of like return on my investment, and I'm not even there yet. Like I'm just starting my journey. So eh, you got to be mentally strong. You have to. And if you're not right now, that's okay because I wasn't either. It's something you can condition yourself to. As long as you consistent. And I don't care if you lift weights, you don't do martial arts. It's all about consistency. Like if
For
you
whatever you are into.
let's say you're fat and you want to lose weight. Okay, you don't have to hit the gym 5 days a week and then be sore for a month. No, start with 1 day a week. That's it. But be consistent about it. Then you're gonna increase it to 2 days. Slowly, it just builds up. Like it's all about habits. And me saying that is it's not that I'm perfect at it. I have a lot of things to work on, but that's something I have developed. So I have my routine now that I'm doing.
So what does kind of well, I guess what's your end goals? I would assume you want to try and get to that UFC.
100%. Yeah.
So what does that trajectory look like? What do you have to do to get there? If you do it right, how much longer till you get there? What does this process look like?
Nowadays, I notice that it's a lot about networking. It's also a lot about who you know, but at the same time, it's about your skill. If you think about it, there's so much competition. So the chance of you succeeding are very low, and the chance of you getting hurt and stopping your career are very high. So the amount of competition is very high. You definitely have to win. You definitely have to have that mindset where you're ready to kill people. But at the same time, you have to take care of your training partners when you train with them. And you have to constantly getting better. You cannot be stuck in the same level. So you have to constantly improve yourself. Let's say if you're not good at wrestling, well, you better get better because back then it was a fight of stylistic files. So boxer against a wrestler or taekwondo guy about somebody else, jiu-jitsu guy against boxer, right? Now everybody knows everything. So the level constantly going up and you have to go up with that level. You cannot miss your prime years, which usually from like 27 to 35 years. So you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of your health. You have to be aware of what you're eating. It's all combined. And it still does not guarantee that you're going to make it. You go in the UFC, if you get a contract for 3 fights and you lose the 3 fights and you are not interesting, you're out. Because think about this. If you're a skilled person and somebody takes you down, you know what the person doing to you. So it's interesting to you. But let's be real, if you go to a bar and you hear people like talking about the fights, they just want to see knockouts. They just
Yep.
want to see like what we call dirty boxing. Nobody's like really into like very skillful fight.
Only like the avid jujitsu guy that also goes to the gym kind of understands it, like, versus everybody knows a knockout or a punch.
So you have to be interesting. So you have to be entertaining. Even like I'm getting to a professional level and I cannot just take people down, hold them, and win. I can have 15 wins and still not get called to UFC or any other promotion to that matter. So you have to be interesting. You have to make it look nice.
That's like a double. So you can't just win a fight. You have to entertain. That's a lot of pressure.
You,
So
to a degree, have to dominate.
yeah.
And like one of the things is it's a bad habit that I have and a lot of people have. I sometimes compare myself to others, or you watch Instagram reels and you see all these fighters doing all kind of moves, and you constantly think you don't do enough. I train like 6 days a week, 2 trainings a day, sometimes 7 days a week, and I still feel like I don't do enough. Like I feel like I need to develop more. So there's that constant feeling. But that's where we go into our mental game. It's where you need to meditate. It's where you need to talk good about yourself because sometimes you're in the fight, you're sparring at the gym, and it's just not your day. You're gonna have a lot of days that are bad days, and you just start beating yourself down as you fight, and you're still going down too. So, how you talk to yourself is incredibly important, and that's something I discovered very recent. It takes a lot of energy to do so. It's like 2 days I might be hyping myself up or like talking positively about myself, but other days I'm beating myself down. So it's a constant work that you have to do. And I would say that without it, without mental games, your physical game, your skill is not going to get as sharp.
Would you say there's like a benefit to kind of having that thought that I'm not doing enough? Like I know in my personal life, I feel like I'm almost driven completely by the fear of failure or not doing enough. Do you think that's healthy or good or helpful, or is it better to have confidence in yourself, I guess?
I think it's 100% beneficial. I would say so. Because there's such a term as a lazy, ambitious person. You have to be aware, you have to identify if you're that person. You might have high ambitions, but you're lazy. But it's about controlling yourself. Like, yeah, I understand you think you're not doing enough, but sometimes you have to look back at the journey you already done and remember who you were and who you are today. So just remembering that will make you think, okay, I'm actually not in the same spot. Like I improved myself so much. Sometimes I feel like people like me or probably you, I sense that you're the same person, that we feel we don't do enough. We're getting worried about the future so much to the point where it conflicts with our present.
Forget to appreciate what you have accomplished, which is helpful sometimes. You sit down, you're hard on yourself all the time. Do take that time to sit back and appreciate how much you've grown.
Yeah, 100%. Nowadays, my weeks are going so quick that I don't even have time to do that. But I'm trying to get at least one day a week where I can just go to the beach or I can go for a walk, I can go for a run, or just lay down and just think without music, nothing, just listen to the ocean. A lot of the Brazilian people, because I train with them, they believe that when you go to the ocean, it recharges you. So it's very important that you recharge yourself and getting ready for the next week. And it's part of the meditation, I would say.
So on the Brazilian note, you're training with the Brazilians. Awesome. You're training with Paulo Costa. And you said some other names, but you're training with some big name guys now.
Yeah, so I trained with Paulo Costa and Khalil Roundtree. That's the opportunity I asked for. It just came to me, which I'm incredibly grateful to God because I literally did not do anything for it. And just one of my boxing coaches, he's like, "Hey, Paulo Costa needs some training partners who are heavy. Are you available?" I was like, "Of course I am." So I trained with him. I did not know what kind of guy he is, so I did not know what to expect. I was like, "Okay, maybe he'll be an asshole, and like I'm gonna get my ass whooped." No, like came in, incredibly nice, super guy. And then we went training. I don't want to say too much details because
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
preparing for the fight nowadays. But we got some training in. He was amazing. He did give me a bloody nose, and I'll say this: I very rarely bleed from my nose. So he's like the second guy who ever made me to bleed.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. No.
Well, no, it's like my nose is pretty damn strong and big. So just for me to see the level of the high-ranking UFC guy, to see how they train, how they prepare for the fight, how they think, how they talk, how long are their training sessions. Like I'll tell you this: like I came in, the training session was for about like 3 hours, if not more, and it's not like they were just fighting all the time. No, you do stretches, you do dynamic stretches, you do some agility drills, and then he got into training. So the energy it takes to do that, it was incredible. And for me to witness that, to kind of see where I'm standing in my life, what I want to achieve, and what I need to strive for, it was an eye-opening experience for me, for which I'm forever grateful to him.
So it's interesting you say how kind of a person he is in person. And although his online presence is he's kind of a shit talker, like he posts the tweets that are actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you feel the need to further your career that you kind of have to have a different persona or online presence potentially to get more attention to get you to the UFC?
I feel like if I actually turn out my artistic self, it'll be enough. It'll be enough to get in trouble to get canceled nowadays because that's very popular. But yeah, I was thinking that I could be a shit talker, or I could do what Habib did. He found a shit talker to fight,
Mhm.
and that's how, if we're being real, that's how he gained his popularity,
Mhm.
because he had like 16, 20 fights, and he was undefeated, and not a lot of people knew about him. And then once he started talking shit to Connor, like Connor started talking back, that's when he made the most money. So, if we play the game, I'm gonna play along.
So you had mentioned a name to me earlier that you might want to call yourself, or your friend suggested, but are you wanting to announce that today possibly?
Well, here's the thing: the nicknames come to you. You can't just really make the nickname, and I could never find one. And I was talking to my coach a few years back, and he's like, "Man, like, I need to find a nickname for myself." He's like, "Well, that's obvious, dude. You're a terrorist. Like, did you see yourself in the mirror?" I was like, "Well, yeah, that makes sense." And then somebody from my friend group, he's like, "Yeah, but you're not allowed to call yourself a terrorist." And as we're talking about it, I have Marco Ruas coming to me. He just started laughing. He's a terrorist. Like, yeah, I like that. I like that. I was like, would be great, but no. But there's different type of Middle Easterns, guys. I'll tell you this. It's either 7-Eleven Middle Eastern or 9/11. I I consider myself something in the middle. When I just started my journey in America, it was 7-Eleven. Now I'm becoming more 9/11. Just because I'm bald with beard and big nose.
Well, you heard it here first. We have the terrorist on the podcast, Duffy Diaries, exclusive.
It's just right now I'm really focusing on
The actual skill. Like,
being able to back up my talk.
yeah.
It's probably one of the biggest fears, is like talking so much shit and then just getting knocked out in the first round.
It's hard to
That's-
come back from that.
But yeah, it's like, and you're gonna have losses. Like having a loss in the fight is not easy. It's like mentally. So one of my last fight was for the title. Was one of my best
And
training
sorry,
camps.
to back up, for the title for what?
For 185 amateur. It was for the belt.
Okay, and just for me, I'm not
Yeah.
completely,
Yeah.
I don't understand the kind of upcoming levels.
Yeah.
So is there one league across the U.S. or amateur league, or
No,
is there
there's
multiple?
a bunch of amateur leagues. So it's one of them wanted me to fight for the title, and I agreed.
Okay.
The thing about amateurs is, it realistically, it does not matter whether you win or lose, because once you turn professional, your record zeroes down. So
Mm,
your record and professional level is important. At the amateur, nobody's gonna even know. But yeah, I had one of my best training camps for my belt fight, and I lost it in the first round. For 3, 4 days, like I did not talk to anybody. I was so bummed out because I know my skill level, and I know that I did not deliver my skill level to the cage. And that was the biggest disappointment for myself, because I know I can do more and I did not. And
it's almost worse. If you performed your best and lost, you couldn't have done anything. So showing up and not doing what you know you're capable of probably hurt more.
100%. And like, you can't fight the same guy because you need more experience. But okay, he's better than me, whatever. But like now you just have to deal with this emotionally too. And then obviously, stuff don't go your way. A lot of the times you think about quitting. It's something a lot of fighters do think about it. The only difference is like you have the thought, you keep on going. You keep on going. You give yourself 3, 4 days, yes, you're sad, but you get back to it and go on with your life pretty much. But again, like losses or wins also transfers to your life because you're gonna win and lose in
Mhm.
your life a lot. But you do a lot of business, like you win and lose all the deals. So it just teaches you to move forward, which by definition, your experience in martial arts cannot be wasted. If you've done it and you stop, it's not wasted because you learn so many skills. At the same time, you're also networking with all kind of guys. It's one of those safe places where you can have a 65-year-old friend or a 15-year-old.
Mhm.
The age does not matter. It's all about respect.
Just the mental resilience to lose a fight and then go right back to training. And I mean, that's honestly amazing. And like you said, similar to business, you lost that project, didn't get the job, just keep going.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And then sometimes you have a lot of good friends, but there's a saying like you don't need enemies when you have friends like this. And I definitely have friends who will keep roasting me, who'll keep me on my toes. So they will never let me get the star disease. If you're thinking like you're too cool,
oh, like
or
start, yeah, yeah.
you start to become like somebody like important or like popular,
Mhm.
if you have people who like bring you back to
Ground you.
earth, like it's all you need. All you need.
So that's a negative story. What's your most positive fight? Or maybe not even fight, experience in this industry, or is it a fight you won that you're super proud of?
I would say, yeah, actually, one of the fights, it was my fifth fight that I won, and it was in Vegas. I was super stoked because the promotion was tough enough, and they were streaming it on UFC Fight Pass, I believe.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this is my first experience, and I'll be like live as
Was
well.
that the first one you had that was filmed? Or
Feel
like,
that you on UFC
okay,
Fight
okay.
Pass, and then I see like Daniel Cormier out there. I see like all kind of like UFC fight, like even the doctors are like they look at all the UFC fighters, they give them like medicine or whatever.
Mhm.
So the level was so high. And funny enough, I had to fight a guy who looked exactly like a Snoop Dogg. If even Snoop Dogg had a twin brother, that would be that guy.
So like tall and lanky.
Tall, lanky, dude, like even the face looked just like him. And I was like, holy shit, like kind of feel bad. Like I don't want to punch him now, but I knew he was a boxer and I am more of a grappler. So the fight went on and I just right away, let's say I went kind of full retard just so I can get him down. Took the guy down, got him on the choke. I'm holding him. The choke was like anaconda choke. I'm holding him, and I was like, he's not moving. I don't understand why. Am I doing something wrong? And he's just waiting for the round to be over, or like he's struggling because there was no sign of suffering whatsoever. So I'm just holding. Just so I was like, let's see what's gonna happen. And he just went out.
Oh, he was out.
He was out.
Oh,
He was out. I was like, holy shit. And the promoter was really happy because they were also like behind in time, so like it was very beneficial that I finished in the first round. I don't know, it was like one of my happiest fights because I went in Vegas, in and out, got my win.
handle business and you're out of
Yeah, my jaw did not hurt, so I could become a fat ass right after. Go get some donuts or steaks. It was a great experience.
So what's your leading up to a fight? What's your weight loss process? Do you cut a lot? Are you one of the ones that you're sitting at 230 cut down to
No.
160 or like,
So I'm cutting. So I'm fighting at 185. But my upcoming fight, which is potentially on May 9th, if they find me an opponent, is going to be at 170.
okay.
So that's a huge weight cut. Like, just for reference, last week I was 210 pounds. Right now, I'm 204. So we roughly have 6 weeks for me to get down to 170. So right now, I am on a diet, definitely. I want to try and cut fat as much as I can, but never done that big of a cut. I really wonder how that's gonna go, and that's why I'm doing it in amateur league
Mhm.
because I can go professional right now if I wanted to, it's not a problem. But for me to get the experience of weighing in at 170 and see how I feel, do I feel stronger? Do I feel weaker? Do my opponents feel faster? Like, how do I handle myself? And then after that, I'll make a decision whether to stay at 185 or 170. I feel like 170, I'm going to have a better success rate, but we will see.
That's actually really wise to wait to go pro while you can experiment and kind of get to know your body a little bit. Because if you go down that low and you feel weak as hell, you know, you don't want to do that for a pro fight.
Yeah, 100%. And trust me, like, I want to go pro so bad. And it was my weight. We need to, like, fix the mistake you made last fight. Fix this, fix that. Like, you've got time. You got time. Like, there's no need to rush yet.
Mhm.
Because, again, like I said before, professional record matters a lot. And there's a bunch of killers out there. Now there's elbows to the face. Now there's knees to the face.
So, an amateur, you do elbows?
No,
or
elbows and knees would be to the body. So to the face, you're not allowed. But there's something that's gonna happen. The rounds are gonna be longer. So, but getting back to a weight cut, it is really hard because I would cut, I don't know, maybe up to 10 pounds the day before the fight. I like to be on weight.
10 pounds the day before the fight.
It's a water weight. Yeah. So like most of the weight cut is healthy until it's not, until you have to water load and you have to really get the water out of your organs. You got to get the water out of your muscles. So if you notice, like on the weigh-ins, a lot of the guys, they come in like they look like death.
Like literally about to
Dude,
fall,
it's
pass out. Like,
insane. Yeah. So nobody's having a good time out there. You cramping, like, it's bad. And the most I've done in one day was 10 pounds. I am really curious how I'm gonna do it this time. I joined another team, Pantheon. It's gonna be two teams that I'm representing. They're really good about weight cutting. So I'm excited to do that with them and with my home base.
so you ideally want to do it slow progression, right? So like when you say they're good at
100%.
weight cutting, they have that process dialed in.
Yes, it's just not healthy. You're not gonna feel good, like as good. Obviously, there's a balance where you don't want to lose weight too rapidly, where you lose your strength, because part of the reasons why people cut so much weight before the weigh is because they just cut the water weight and they gain it back and they stay being strong. They stay like same strength. Um, I don't like it as much. I tried it. I like to be more on cardio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Like
cutting
actually
weight
more
gradually.
naturally sitting around that weight. So like you're not going to end up 185 the next day.
Yeah.
You gotcha.
Yeah. So it is a skill in itself to cut so much weight. Not fun. It's probably one of the worst parts of this job to do is the weight cut. And like I said before, I'm such a fat ass. I like to eat. Like I wouldn't say no to a sweet treat.
So you won the fight. What's your post-fight food you're going to get immediately?
I would say this. I'll go completely rampage. I would find, I don't know if you ever tried a Russian honey cake.
Mm-mm.
That's something my two goes. I would get that. And then I have a lot of friends who just, okay, dude, you want your fight? We're going to take you to a restaurant. Or like one of my other friends, like, we made you a cheesecake. So like, I'm constantly getting fed. Like this person, another person, like people feeding me, they know what I like. Steak, chocolate, a lot of chocolate, a lot of pastries. Like I see it, I'm just going to buy it. Nowadays, funny enough, after my last fight or the fight before, I did not want to do it as much. Like I would go full rampage, but no, not this time. So I guess either that's me being more adult or my taste change. I don't know, but I'm not gonna go against it because that's gonna help my career.
Yeah. So thinking about people feeding you made me think of, is it hard to date while you're training this hard, have a full-time job? Do you have time for that? Do you have a girlfriend?
That's incredibly hard. So I had a girlfriend. She was a sweetheart. Such a great person. Like she understood my goals. I understood her goals. She wanted to be a doctor. So we were dating and then she gave me a good news, in a quote, good news, that she got accepted to university, but it's in Arizona. So now it's hard to visit because for me, I'm not yet a citizen. So it's hard for me to travel. My case is pending, but that's a conversation of the podcast.
go across the border and then walk back over.
Which
No,
it'll make it
I'm
even
kidding.
worse. Yeah, it'll make it even worse. No, it's just to sidetrack a little bit. It's just because of the relation between Russia and America. And think about this: me being Middle Eastern looking, ethnically from Afghanistan, with the Russian citizenship, coming here, and you see what the situation in the world is. It's just crazy.
Yeah, you got kind of both right now. Like,
It's just yeah. I was like, guys, I just want some peace.
yeah.
By getting back to relationship, like I did have my girlfriend, and I was visiting her pretty often without sacrificing my training. And it was great, very trusting relationship. But then at some point, I wasn't able to visit her. And we decided to finish the relationship before it get worse emotionally. So it was a very wise decision,
Mhm.
but still painful.
Yeah.
It was relatively recent too. But nowadays, you trying to date, and I'll be specifically in California, it's just insane because if you don't have money or like you're not available for them, women are to a degree, from what I noticed, very opportunistic, which is not, I wouldn't say something wrong with that, but I have my goals and I'm not home from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So I need someone who understands that.
Mhm.
And it's not a lot of girls like that. And I can't give them attention. I had 4 girls telling me that, like in different period of time, that you're too busy for me because I'm just not willing to sacrifice my training. Because if I do that, I'm not gonna succeed. So it is incredibly hard.
And I would imagine being a fighter, you probably get, I would guess, a lot of attention from ladies, I would think.
I would, but the thing is, I value connection a lot.
Mm.
So like, I would say this: I would try. I thought, or I tried to be the guy who just hoeing around, like not to be biased, but like all the guys at Newport, like everybody fucked everybody already.
Mhm.
But I'm just not that guy. Like I need something more intentional, something more intimate. But
All right. So if you see this, ladies, he's single. You just got to deal with the guy who's dedicated to his profession.
and it's not that bad. It's like you're gonna get return your investment in the future. It's just, are you willing to go on that journey with me? But because I'm not willing to bend for that, because in the end of the day, I want to be the one who's leading my family in the future. So like, it just doesn't make sense, and therefore it doesn't not working out with girls.
Mhm.
I'm also like not a good bullshitter. Like I can't lie myself into it. Yeah, dude.
Those are all good things. I hope
it's-
somebody sees this and goes, okay,
It is
that's
a good, but
guy.
not in today's day and age, dude. Like everybody's just crazy.
It honestly seems like nowadays you get rewarded for doing the wrong things, but hopefully that right one's out there. Invest in you before you go pro and you're too famous.
Yeah, I do. My dream is to find a woman like before I make it, because when I make it, first of all, I don't know if I'm gonna have a wife. Number two, if somebody tries to be my wife, I don't know if they out there for me or for my money or my status.
Yeah. So, what would be the next step after? So, how does the process work to go pro?
Honestly, I could even do it right now.
Assuming you win the next amateur fight and you're going to make a decision, what does that look like? Like, how do you actually go pro?
You just find a promotion, because there's still different promotions. Some will have a direct connection to UFC. Some other ones have connections to other promotions, ONE FC or Bellator. You reach out to them, or you have your coach or your manager, if you have one, reach out to them, and you sign a contract, do all the necessary blood work, and then just get at it. It's simple. But the question is, what do you do in those fights? Like I said before, you have to dedicate, you have to dominate people. Like just winning a decision is not enough. It might be enough, but it's just going to take you longer. You have to be very skillful with how you present yourself, because nowadays, just hard work is not enough. You have to do hard work, but you also have to make sure that people see you, the different managers see you. So that means you have to expose yourself on Instagram. You have to make highlights videos,
Go on podcasts.
go on podcasts. Like I'm kind of starting early out here. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. And I can't complain. Honestly, I can't complain. I'm busy. I'm not home, but I feel like I have a purpose in my life. And it helps me to guide some people who were my age, because I started martial arts at 21. I had no idea what I want, but I can guide them people. I can give them advice because I've been what they're going through. And at some point I needed somebody like that. and I had my team who
Yeah.
helped me out.
Do you do any coaching now to like subsidize? I've heard that sometimes you can do coaching to pay for your training.
So I coach sometimes, like my coach asks me to teach or I give private lessons. I've been training a kid for like 3, 4 years now. They pretty much become like a family. I love coaching. In the future, I want to coach. I want to give back, but I do not want to do it because of money. I want to do it just because I want to help and I like the thrill of it. I feel like when you're a coach and you need to make money, it's so stressful. Like I see coaches, you would think you make money on pro fighters. You don't make nothing. You most of the time you waste so much energy, effort, and some fighters will just leave. Like it's such an investment that most likely will not give you any return. But if it does, then everything's great. But like being a coach is incredibly hard. So being a true coach, because you make most of your money on new people, the kids' classes. Meanwhile, you have to go all your guys' competitions, whether it's Muay Thai, whether it's Jiu-Jitsu, MMA. So if you're a family man and your husband is a coach, good luck because a lot of the weekends he'll be absent. He'll go on the trails. He's taking care of the fighters like they're their kids.
Mm.
And that's how it was in Russia too. It's a very underrated job. And right now, I don't think I'm fully ready for it, but I love teaching.
Yeah.
I love teaching and I coach.
On the money subject, do you get paid for the amateur fights?
I would say this, you get paid something if you sell a lot of tickets.
Okay. So even now, you do have to have a presence to try and sell tickets.
Yeah, and think about this, like I'm an immigrant. I came in, I knew nobody. But if you compare the amount of money you spend on private lessons, on some like recovery supplements, or even like going to like a spa just to get a cold plunge, sauna, it's you spend a lot of money and
So it's not even close to covering.
no, right now that's what I'm saying. I think of training and me spending money on me like an investment. It's like an investment in your business, and then I'm expecting some return in the future. So no, for the most part, you do not make money, but some people do because I also, even though I'm an amateur, I got sponsors. I got my Gus's Fun Bar. I got William Wellness Center. Like all these guys, like chiropractors, the mushroom company. Like they all help me a lot, and like they make my life easier. Even my work, they sponsor me now.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah, so like that's where my free schedule comes in. Like they slack, it's like okay, like it's okay. Like you can be free or like you can go there, you're still gonna get paid. So it's a help that I appreciate and it's not gonna be forgotten.
all right. So I like to finish every podcast. The name of the podcast is Duffy Diaries. So I have every guest contribute something to the diary. What is something you would like to leave to the people out there? One little piece to the diary. Could be something about motivation, anything you feel like telling the people.
This and it was my most recent discovery, and that's something I wish I would do when I was 21, when I just started training, maybe even when I was a child, is do not think negatively about yourself. It might be very cliche, but it's insane how your life physically changes when you stop thinking negatively about yourself. Like in most recent times, once I start thinking more positively, more optimistic, all of a sudden God just rewarded me with more opportunities, like training with another like fighters. Like even after the trainings, I wouldn't beat myself down. But I will be critical of myself, but I will not talk negatively because let's agree we have so many people around us who already talk bad about us. So if there's one thing I will leave you with, that'll be it.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on. And then one last thing is any promotions, your Instagram, your upcoming fight, anything you'd like to say, talk to this camera.
So my Instagram is Idris Niazi, Idris Niazi. I'm not sure which promotion I'm gonna fight at next so far, but I would say that if you guys are interested in joining MMA gym and you are in Orange County, you're more than welcome to join the Pantheon, which is in Costa Mesa, or to Marcel Academy in Orange County. I am at both locations, so I will gladly give you the welcoming ass whooping and welcome you to the team.
All right. Thank you, Idris, for joining Duffy Diaries.
Thank you
Thanks
for-
on.
Thank you.